Well, good evening and welcome to Trinity University here in Calgar Gymnasium here in San Antonio. And we have another top 25 matchup in the NCAA Division III Women's Basketball National Championships. First round, the home Trinity Tigers and the visiting Comets from the University of Texas in Dallas from Richardson. And the two teams getting introduced right now. I'm going to be joined by Ryan Figert for today's contest. And we'll get you caught up with starting lineups here as they're being introduced. First for the visiting Comets. At guard, it's going to be Maddie Edler and Victoria Pena, along with Kelly Skinner, Raynette Hughes, and Natalie Miller. For the Tigers, Jordan Rudd, Julia Ackerman, Emily Daniel, Abby Holland, and Kelly Simmons. And two fantastic teams. You see their records there, 22-5 for the Comets. They went 15-1 in the ASC, regular season champions. And for the Tigers, regular season champions, 17-1 in conference play, 23-4 overall. Both these teams bowing out in their conference tournaments. Tigers in the championship game to Austin College. The Comets to Hardin Simmons in the semifinal. And Ryan, take us through your thoughts as we enter this one.
Yeah, and that last bit that you touched on there is what I want to really hone in on, and the fact that both of these teams are looking to bounce back after a really rough conference tournament weekend last weekend. And we'll see what they bring into the NCAA tournament. Of course, they've already met once early on this season, and that went to UTD on this floor in Calgar Gymnasium, 72-68. Josh, you were on the call for that one. How do you think that win for UTD plays into this game now?
Well, I'll say pretty much what Coach Paulie Thomason and Butch Cameron Hill have both said about it. That game was so long ago that both of these teams are almost entirely different. They've grown individually. They've grown as individual players. They've grown competitively as a team. I think it gives UT Dallas a little bit of confidence knowing that they come into San Antonio with the chance to win. They've proven that they're good enough to do that. But beyond that, I don't think that they can really look at some of those things from the past game and expect that things are going to fall this way or that way. I think it's just a matter of it's a game that builds confidence for UTD, and for Trinity, it's a chance to play an NCAA home game on their home court. And tip-off is going to be batted around and eventually taken by the Comets. That will fall for Raynette Hughes. Game earlier today, Mary Hardin Baylor and Austin College, 78-63 win for the Crew. As Hughes' first shot, no good. Rebound's going to be grabbed by Natalie Miller. She puts that back up and in. Comets are off to a 2-0 start. The game between Mary Hardin Baylor and Austin College got off to a slow start. Both teams taking a few possessions to really get into it before they found a rhythm. And then that game took off for the first half. As Jordan Rudd attacking the rim comes up short. That one's going to be poked out, I believe, by Miller. So it will stay here with the Tigers. And then the third quarter was just a inefficiency of scoring for both teams. Fourth quarter picked it up quite a bit, but it's interesting to see how teams come out in their first postseason action. Kelly Simmons driving hard to the rim, laying that one up off the glass, and we're tied at 2.
Yeah, and Simmons is one that can play a really big role, especially on the boards for Trinity, up against a team that rebounds by committee in UT Dallas. They don't have anyone really out there grabbing 10 a night, but they all seem to get it done, and especially Raynette Hughes, now a back-to-back Defensive Player of the Year in the ASC, as well as Player of the Year on the other end of the floor this season. So she's certainly the one to watch for the Comets.
Simmons with a block there. Tigers have a chance to take the lead with a bucket. In and out. Nice poke out for Jordan Rudd. Julia Ackerman, she steps inside the arc, knocks down a 2-point field goal. Probably count how many she has on the entire season in one hand. So almost all of her shots are from behind the arc. And Tigers lead 4-2.
Yeah, and she really struggled to get it going in that SCAC championship game. Ended up shooting 3 for 12 from 3, so it's good to see her get going early with the jumper.
Tigers really struggling as a team in that game. Just couldn't find their rhythm. Looking to find the rhythm now is going to be Edler, and she knocks down the 3. And the Comets with a 5-4 lead.
There is Ackerman pulling for 3 like we expect to see. That one just off the mark. But it's been a while, with the exception of Austin College, since we've seen a quality team come into Calgary Gymnasium. UT Dallas probably the last one, with the exception of conference play, and that was before even Christmas break. So it is interesting to see how these two teams start in a high-profile matchup in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, Trinity with a very strong non-conference season. It's probably one of the reasons why they're hosting this tournament, as Abby Holland knocks down her first field goal. The Tigers lead 6-5. Yeah, they open the tournament with George Fox and St. Thomas out of Minnesota, two perennial top 10 teams, two teams that typically find themselves in the postseason. St. Thomas this year, though, not finding themselves in the postseason. Nice drive to the bucket, and the Comets regain the lead. Victoria Pena onto the scoreboard.
Yeah, it was a little bit unexpected to see, with the way the conference tournaments went, that we ended up with 4 Texas teams getting a matchup here in the first round, as we had the first steal for Hughes. Goes up the other end and can't finish. Tough start for her offensively.
It's going to be good fortunes here for the Comets, as Pena in position to grab the board. Run into by Abby Holland, and that'll be her first.
Yeah, and Pena, despite being a 5'5", 5'6" guard, is the all-time rebounds leader for the Comets. She definitely can keep the ball alive, like we've seen Rudd doing at the other end on this replay.
Back to live action. It's Hughes driving into the lane. She's now 1 for 3 on the day. The Comets stretching the lead now 9-6. UT Dallas men's team hosting first round action. So the women not eligible to host. As it's going to be Simmons knocking down her second shot. She's got 4 points. The women will have first priority for the next rounds, third and fourth rounds. But that's likely to be shipped out. I'm expecting maybe somewhere in Pennsylvania or Virginia. Could be up at Amherst, although with Amherst not allowing fans into the arena out of fears of COVID-19, don't know how the next rounds will be affected by a lot of various things. The last foul on Miller, her first, team's first.
Yeah, and both of these teams are going to have a tough go to get to that next pod. Whoever wins today is obviously going to be up against an incredibly impressive UMHB team that took care of business against the Roos earlier this evening. So that'll be exciting to watch tomorrow. Tiger Network as well.
Yeah, Mary Hardin Baylor just played with extreme confidence today. A turnover here for the Tigers. And Ackerman with a hard foul on Hughes. Hughes just 1 for 3 shooting, but she's been able to step in for 2 steals now, and that's helping turn the tide of the game just a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. She's so active on the defensive end. That's why she's been named Conference Defensive Player of the Year twice in a row now. And this season she's really come into her own scoring the basketball as well.
And Hughes knocks down her first free throws. 3 points now, tying her with Edler for the team lead. So you're just stepping into the way. And then a strong foul there from Ackerman. Has drawn a few flagrants in her time, but I think trying to avoid any shots being put up rather than it being a intentionally hard foul.
Yeah, and with a couple of steals early on in this game, Hughes now a program high for a season. He's number 87 and 88. Sets the Comets record in that regard.
Jordan Rudd pulls for 3. It's off the mark. Could have been called for a travel, as Gunther grabbed the board and went down to the ground and then rolled over. I'm going to say she lost control of it, and coming back at the other end, Pena, once again, Troy Pena now 4 points, 2 of 3 shooting. And a 5-point lead for the Comets.
Yeah, Victoria Pena, the senior, has been getting it done for 4 years since she stepped on campus. She was back-to-back Conference Player of the Year winners before Hughes took that offer this year, but she's the all-time points leader for UTD. She's the all-time rebounds getter, and she's 10 assists away from leading all 3 categories. So something to watch if Dallas can maybe grab a couple of wins in the tournament. You expect to see her grab that record as well. A tremendous career, and we're seeing it now twice in 1 year. And Calgary Gymnasium.
And mentioning conference players of the year, Abby Holland knocking in a bucket there to draw the lead within 3 once again. And we are already at 4:08 left in the first quarter. See Holland working down into the paint, bringing it to a 3-point game. We're at a media timeout. Enjoy the replays. We'll be right back.
So after the foul on Pena, the Tigers will inbound to get us back underway here in the first quarter. UTD out in front 13-10 in the early action. Haley Coleman checking into the game for Kelly Simmons. Milton off the bench as well. Tigers swing the ball around. Rudd steps back, and the cross-court pass from Ackerman. Down low now for Haley Coleman. Plenty of passes in this Tiger move, and eventually it falls for Ackerman from 3. Her first make in her second attempt. Tigers now back level.
Yeah, we mentioned, expect to see Julia Ackerman shooting the ball well. Not the performance she wanted in the SCAC Conference Championship game, but just 3 of 12 shooting from downtown, but expect her to try to come out and redeem herself here in the first round.
Hughes getting to the bucket again and drawing another foul. Tigers not letting her get any easy baskets. So far she's been able to earn it at the line though. 2 for 2.
One more look at Ackerman's 3. And rolling around and getting the fortuitous roll. Then see Hughes here. Nice cut and a perfect pass from Pena.
Didn't get the first one to go there.
13 all, 3:21 to play. Lead back to the Comets. Hughes now 3 of 4 at the line, 5 points.
Hughes was able to drop 35 on the Tigers in that early season matchup as Coleman gets the and one. Gets the crowd into it and gets the lead back for Trinity. A big story for UTD was that they were able to get the victory despite Pena turning the ball over 10 times. Tigers' early press particularly was tough for the Comets to break, but in the fourth quarter they figured things out and were able to come out on top as Coach Cameron Hill continues to make subs. In his 8th season, Coach Hill was a recipient of the Coach of the Year award in the SCAC, as was Polly Thomason on the other side, both of them co-coaches of the year. I think discussion about maybe who the foul was meant to go on.
It was called on Gunther. They may have to go look at the replay if they can't figure this out amongst themselves. And Decision's been made. I think they're going to stick with the call on Gunther because they didn't go back to the table. This is going to be one shot for Coleman. The other thing, they could have been arguing maybe a continuation, but I felt like that was almost a certainty. Coleman knocking it down. Tigers, for the first time, lead by 2 today.
Maxwell now running the floor for UTD, loses the handle. Sam Henry applying the press in the backcourt.
A double dribble is called. Not a call you see very often. It'll be a turnover back to Trinity. NCAA first round action. Quite a bit of action so far. I'll catch you up on the out-of-town scoreboard in just a bit, but so far not a whole lot of surprises as the top seeds, especially in this part of the bracket, have kind of gone the way that or that the committee, I should say, probably expected them to go with the way that they seeded teams. And Emily Daniel's going to sneak in and get a foul called against her. Fourth team foul against the Tigers, 2:40 left in the first.
Yeah, interesting for me to see the Tigers not pressing full court like they have so often, especially in the first half of games. And it's allowed them to build a lead, particularly against inferior opponents. They opted not to go with the press early on in this game.
Fantastic hesitation dribble move by Raynette Hughes. Just very smooth on the shot. Tied at 16. Hughes with 7. Holland, large extended step, back to Coleman. And the foul is going to go on Gunther down low. And it'll be Trinity to inbound with 2 minutes to play.
Yeah, Coleman's made a really good impact underneath. Obviously had the and one call that she was able to convert, but she's also keeping the play alive with some offensive boards as well.
It'll be interesting to see if Trinity tries to take advantage of some of the opportunities down low. Both Simmons and Coleman playing very well as of late in the interior. Ashley Milton, nice dish off to Abby Holland. Side of the rim, no good, but Milton grabs her own board. Coleman, cross court for Emily Daniels, shot clock down to 15. Milton, the interior, somehow keeps the handle alive on all of that. And then Sam Henry on the interior, fouled but no call. And eventually the rebound to Skinner.
Yeah, pretty clear miss that time. And Raynette Hughes is ahead of the play for an easy bucket at the other end.
And Hughes now up to 9 on 3 of 5 shooting, also 3 of 4 at the line. Good court awareness there from UTD. And that one thrown down at the feet of Coleman. And then back to Sam Henry, throws it nearly into the first row of the stands, trying to reach Emily Daniel, who would have been wide open for 3.
Yeah, terrific defense being played by UTD, led by Hughes, but really so far everybody doing their part. Not giving Trinity any easy looks, but the Tigers return, forcing a turnover on their side.
And that last replay there of Raynette Hughes, a move that would work almost at any level. Just absolutely perfect off the dribble. Perfect bottom of the net type of shot. Henry, Simmons, Milton, Coleman, and Daniel. So Trinity going with a large lineup here. You see this one, Hughes just out in front of the play, and Skinner with a fantastic 60-foot pass to find her down low. And then Maxwell just losing the handle out of bounds. Good defense there from Sam Henry.
I think they're wiping blood off the floor here as you see the referee in the bottom right of your screen. That's the only thing I can think of. They got the disinfectant spray out. Of course, heightened tensions around things like that at the moment.
Yeah, and I know that there was a lot of concern from traveling parties as well as parents of students, students in general, not just student athletes, but would like to say that if anybody is concerned about what is happening here on the Trinity campus, you can go to trinity.edu. At the top of the webpage, there is a banner running across the top with information that is updated as things change. It was last updated 2 days ago. No cases here on campus, and no scares in San Antonio beyond last weekend's situation.
Yeah, a little bit of inexperience there on the court from Milton. An unnecessary foul to put UTD into the bonus and give them a couple of looks here at the end of the first quarter.
Skinner steps up her first free throw and knocks it down. Make it 2 for 2 for Skinner. And the Comet lead now 4.
Yeah, no Abby Holland out on the floor for the first time offensively for Trinity. We'll see who they turn to for a look. It's going to be Milton for 3.
And she finds the bottom of the bucket. Ashley Milton now 1 for 3 from downtown. She's got 3 points.
Yeah, and she could play a really crucial role alongside, Haley Coleman, Sam Henry off the bench. Last time these two teams met, UTD only had 4 bench points as a team.
And Skinner with a fantastic shot here as time winding down. Knocking down to 3, the lead back to 4. Henry gets fouled with .5 to play.
Speaking of unnecessary fouls.
And that one just the reach in, trying to stop the shot. You're probably better off at just letting somebody shoot the play at the end. This is going to be Milton's 3. Knocking that one down with 24 seconds to go in the first quarter. And then coming back the other way was Skinner knocking it down with about 10 seconds to play.
They've just given her 3 shots, which is just not correct.
That is not correct. They're going to go to the replay here in just a second. We're going to take a short break as they look this over. They're going to find out that that's a 2-point shot, and we'll be back in just a bit. And welcome back. They have changed it back to a 2-point shot. So use of the replay working very well. Would have worked in Trinity's favor, but
I was going to say, I think they should have just turned off the monitor.
at the end of the day, those things always tend to balance themselves out. And so if you can play the game clean and fair the whole way, I think you're better off. And Henry knocks down the first. There still will be time for UTD to catch and shoot, but it would take a amazing shot here. And probably for the best. Maxwell just holds on to it. The Comets will walk away from the first quarter with a 2-point lead, 23-21. And we will be back in just a bit here on the Tiger Network. We're watching NCAA Division III Women's Basketball Championships live from San Antonio.
So the first quarter goes to UTD just by a couple of points, 23-21 as we restart action here in the second. Starting 5 back in for Coach Cameron Hill and Trinity as well as the UTD lineup. Ackerman from the corner, no good. Offensive rebound there from Simmons, nearly loses it. Hughes goes to ground to try and get the steal. And now we get Daniel from the corner for 3. And no good once again. Hughes grabs the board. You saw the commitment there from Raynette Hughes to try and get the steal. She's already got a couple in the first quarter, and she's broken the UTD record for steals in a season. As that was a comfortable layup for Okehi. She's the one tasked with dealing with Simmons in the post this end of the floor. So far, though, Simmons dominating, at least on the boards. Tigers not profiting from these offensive rebounds as of yet.
You get another look here at Okehi. Just soft up off the iron, getting that one to fall in. Jordan Rudd on the other side. Three-pointer won't go. 4-point lead for the Comets. The largest of the game's been 5. And we're going to get a jump ball situation. And Trinity will take possession.
Yeah, and good to see the fans turning out for this big matchup in the tournament. We got the student section all the way to capacity. And the other end, of course, the parents. They'll always be vocal.
Yeah, the far side of the stadium, a little bit less field than the near side, as you can tell at the very bottom of your screen. Pena for 3. In and out, won't fall. I said that was going to be white ball, but it stayed with UTD. Pena cutting to the inside, has a good look at it. Too hard off the glass. Rebound for Simmons. She'll eventually find Jordan Rudd, and the Tigers push forward. Daniel can't find the buckets.
Yeah, she shot 0 for 5 in the SCAC championship game, and 0 for 2 to start this one. Needs to find some rhythm shooting-wise for Trinity's sake.
Pena for 3, no good. Rebound for Simmons. Yeah, Daniel's had a couple of games where she started off missing her first few shots. And a couple of weeks ago, she had a huge shot.
Pena stays down here. After committing the foul, didn't see, go back and watch it one more time. Looks like a shoulder potentially into the face. But either way, the senior point guard is going to take a seat here. Just looks a little bit shaken up. Rudd now brings it up the floor for Trinity. As Maxwell checks in at the 1 for the Comets. Ackerman, top of the key. And Holland with a nice move, but they're going to call a travel on it. Certainly sold the fake, but not in a legal manner according to the official.
That one poked away by Simmons, picked up by Ackerman. She was almost precariously over and back. Rudd gets the blocking foul against Hughes.
He was a little bit overeager on that one. And I think she's going to check out probably just for a moment. UTD into the NCAA tournament for 4 straight seasons. We'll see if that experience advantage they have over Trinity plays any impact going down the stretch. Tigers missed out last year And a big part of this team is, sophomores and juniors that won't have that experience that the likes of the UTD players and Abby Holland in particular have.
Skinner eventually gets the ball away, finding Miller. Over inside. Cahey will tap that one out, but it's going to be taken by Ackerman, and that one's going to be deflected out of bounds by Warnsman. Nice defensive hustle play by Warnsman to get back on that one. Ackerman fired up a touchdown pass, trying to thread the needle through.
Yeah, we've seen that from both teams, the ability to throw the pass ahead.
See there on the lower part of your screen, Paris Brinkley checking in. Right over to Daniel. Steps inside the free throw line, knocks down her first shot. Emily Daniel now 1 of 3, but she's got 2 in the lead, just 2 for the Comets. Brinkley tries to dribble past Rudd, does so. Warnsman had a dribble, but kept it, got it over to Skinner. Tight defense being played by the Tigers, and the Comets seem to have it under control. Brinkley, first shot of the game, she knocks it down. Just checked in and knocks down her first look. Simmons down low on the block. Takes back for Ackerman.
And that was very poised from Brinkley on the other end. Plays less than 10 minutes a game for the Comets. Comes in and makes good use of the time she's got in this one.
Off the glass. Kelly Simmons, 6 points. Lead back to 2. Ackerman going for the steal. Skinner will have none of it. Entry feed to Miller is going to carry too far. And the crowd really getting into it there in the student section. And the Tigers will get the ball back for this possession, a chance to tie.
Yeah, and this is one of the first times all season that it's really felt like a home team atmosphere in CalGuard Gymnasium. Really get the fans involved, especially with the way that Trinity defends and the way they can shoot the ball at times, although today so far 2 of 10 from 3, certainly an area they're going to want to improve as they draw another foul here.
Coming back live after those last 2 buckets by the Tigers. Trinity ball out of bounds as Brinkley called for her first. Rudd working on Brinkley. Crosses to the right. It's going to get blocked. And what a fantastic save there by Brock. An absolutely defensive gem as Brock gets the block and then saves it before it goes out of bounds. It's a good look by Rudd. Just couldn't quite get it past Brock. He's now holding the ball. Has that one deflected and tipped away, stolen by Milton. Ackerman saves it over to Milton. Inside Simmons. She'll kick out. Holland from the 3, drives in, back to Simmons.
Tigers really trying to use their height advantage down low, throwing the passes over the top.
Milton will pull for 3 and knocks it down. The Tigers have the lead. 28-27. 4 minutes to play here, first half.
Yeah, making good use of the turnovers they're forcing on the defensive end, turning them into a lead now.
Tigers really taking advantage with Hughes on the bench. They go inside to Brinkley, and she is fouled hard by Abby Holland. I wouldn't be surprised if they take a look at this. I don't think it was intentionally hard.
Hey, you just feel the atmosphere in the building. It's rising and the energy's there, and Holland just comes across too hard. And it was up in the head area, wasn't it, as well, as we look at the Milton 3 on the money.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I thought they might take a look at this one, but it doesn't seem they're making any headway over to the scores table, so they may not look at that last foul. I thought that just by the awkwardness of one going up and the other one staying down and then coming down on her to get her in the head area. Of course, even if it's by accident, they do look at those types of plays. couple of former players there in the crowd for the Tigers enjoying this home game.
Yeah, and you see the face from
You
Abby
see
Hollins.
Abby's face right there. She kind of knew it. I think that's one that the officials missed. I think Abby did get the ball on that one, but also got quite a bit of Harris's head.
It's been a really good defensive matchup. It's not really what we've seen very often so far this season. A lot of times, both these teams have run up the scores against some conference opponents. You know, UTD set their all-time scoring record. I think they had 115 in a game earlier this season. Trinity did the same, triple digits a couple of times against Centenary. But both teams really showing off their defensive aspect, and it's making for a great matchup here in the first round.
You know, both teams are able to score quite a bit, up into the mid-70s, low 80s for both of these teams, but they're also holding their opponents for under 60. So at some point, something's got to give. Either their defense is going to be a lost cause here today, and they're going to score in the 70s and 80s, or their defense is going to show up, and their shooting percentages are going to go down just a touch, and probably be a little bit of variance on those two. As Brinkley to the line for the first time, looking to tie the game. She does.
Yeah, Trinity coming into this one with the number 6 scoring offense in the country. And they're second in terms of average margin of victory. Like you said, a lot of blowouts this season. And this isn't going to be one of them. They're going to have to play tough all the way through.
Of course, no other pod in the entire country with more than one D3Hoops.com ranked team in it. And this pod has 4. So 2 ranked teams going home today, basically because of geography.
Yeah, Texas coming on really strong this year in the D3 women's game.
Jordan Rudd with fantastic defense all over Brinkley, and they're going to call Rudd for the foul.
Yep, and the way that Rudd tossed the ball towards the official, I think, said what she thought.
I thought that she had played fantastic defense. And usually when you play strong defense like that, they end up giving you a benefit of the doubt if you slightly foul, which I'm sure she did. And you see a good look at it here. Just not the beneficiary of that call. On the other end of it, Brinkley's probably like, yeah, I got hit in the head. She'll pull for 3. Front rim, no good. Rebound, Haley Coleman.
Now she's come in and played quite a significant role as Abby Hollins out in front of the play for 2 points. But Brinkley with 4 points of her own. Interesting to see how much time she's getting running the Comets offense.
Brock down low, puts up the shot. No call against Holland. Rudd will bring it back the other way.
Yeah, release point for that shot was way too low. Couldn't even draw the foul on that one.
And then Brock gets called for the foul against Holland as she drives to the lane. I will say, all things considered, it has been a pretty well officiated game so far.
Well, I certainly got a lot to make sense of, a lot to sort through with the way these teams are defending.
So that was Holland on the last fast break. She steps up, knocks down the free throw. The Tigers lead now 2.
Yeah, and both of these teams shooting in the mid-60s on the season for free throws. So far, though, 7 of 8 for UTD and 4 of 4 with one more on the way from Abby Holland. Dialing it in, getting those one-pointers from the stripe.
There's a little bit of the press that we've seen from Trinity all year long. And Haley Coleman stepping up on Warnsman and blocking that one.
That's a playoff block right there.
And Ashley Milton, other side for 3. If she made that, this place would have erupted here. Brinkley brings it across. UTD without Hughes has lost the lead, but I'd say they've weathered the storm okay as they give up another turnover here.
Yeah, and they're 1 of their last 9 shooting. Haven't scored in over 4 minutes from a field goal. Tigers just haven't been able to get any headway.
Rudd missing the layup there. Skinner. As Tiger's out of sorts in transition if she wants it, but she'll pull back. And Tiger's going to have to just concede the easy layup or commit a foul against Green. And Green will put down the easy 2, bring it to a 1-point game.
Yeah, and for UTD fans watching in, just to let you know, Pena is back on the bench and cheering on her teammates. So took a knock earlier on that looks like she'll be okay to come back in just a moment.
3-point lead once again as Jordan Rudd knocks down the layup. This is the type of transition game that we expected between both teams. It's going to be an offensive foul against Green.
Yeah, great work from Holland there to get right up against her mark and stay out of that restricted area to draw the charge.
2 seniors doing battle down low, and Taylor Green's going to get hit with the foul. You see the block here from Coleman. It pretty much went straight up. It was Warnsman who kind of faded away on that one. And coming down the other way, this is Green's offensive foul.
Rudd and Holland to the bench for Trinity as Coleman and Henry check back in.
Coleman finding Milton far side. Baseline running jumper, and she gets that to fall. Ashley Milton, just the first year out of Amarillo.
Yeah, and well played there to get the 2-for-1 for Trinity, and they're in the bonus as well. Can draw a foul in that last possession.
Warnsman inside for Green from the block. Turnaround jumper. Can't get it to roll around and in. Rebound for Milton. Tigers up 5. 10 seconds to go.
Yeah, a bucket here would give him all kinds of momentum going into the half. Milton for 3.
No good. Rebound for Daniel. 2 on the clock. She gets it off. It's not going to matter. She didn't make the shot. That will be the first half. Trinity, after falling behind early on, take advantage of Hughes not being in. They climb back to a 36-31 lead at the half. Get a good look at Milton's baseline running jumper. And that will send us to the break. It'll take 15 minutes, and we'll be back for the start of the second half in just a bit. You're watching the Tiger Network live from Calgary Gymnasium here in San Antonio. We'll be back. Welcome back as we are just about ready to begin the second half. Trinity with a 5-point lead. And you just saw some of the numbers there. Trinity in the first half being outshot by the Comets, 39% to 42% for UTD, but Trinity 10 more shot attempts, 3 more makes. Also 3 of 13 from downtown. They're a perfect 5 of 5 at the line. 2 of 5 for the Comets from beyond the arc, 7 of 8 from the line. Trinity out-rebounding UTD, especially on the offensive glass, 9-4, 19-17 total.
Yeah, and Trinity was able to build the lead with Raynette Hughes off the floor, as well as Victoria Pena, who came out a little bit prematurely with a knock, but they're back in now. They're going to look to try and get back into this game down 5.
Yeah, and I thought that UTD lost the lead with those two off the court, but it's only a 5-point deficit. So all things considered, they didn't play for the final 5 minutes of that half. And they were only down 5 at the end of the result. So they've got to be pleased with that. The bench stepping up and doing their job, as Emily Daniel now 4 points, lead up to 7. Miller, top of the key, looking for somebody else, but there's no movement whatsoever. Shot clock at 10. Inside for Miller. Simmons just backs up, and a travel is going to be called on Miller.
Yeah, good defense there from Simmons, just holding her ground and not giving up anything easy underneath.
So the opposite look at Daniel's jumper.
Yeah, the one person I think could be poised for a big second half here is Abby Holland. Had 8 points in the first half, and when she gets big minutes like she usually does down the stretch, we're used to seeing things up in the 30s for her.
An impressive play by Raynette Hughes right there. That Holland took the step to the side, had her beat, and the recovery by Hughes was just enough to poke it away and give the rest of the team a chance for defense. And ultimately, it's going to lead to a positive possession here for the Comets. Rebound for Skinner. Jordan Rudd came up a little too long off the iron.
Yeah, intrigued to see Hughes not pulling from 3 there. Much more comfortable inside the arc, it looks like. But after spending all day reading up on what a season she had, his 3 is knocked down by Skinner in the corner. She's definitely passing the eye test for me so far through just over a half a play.
Kelly Skinner now 8 points on the day. So they're trying to go back to the interior. Daniel comes up short. Another rebound for Skinner. She's got 6. Hughes won't stop. Can't get the roll. And it'll be a jump ball situation, I believe. And it will go the Comets' way. Yeah, they just left Skinner open on the far corner. She's 2 of 2 from downtown.
Yeah, and that's one area that UTD has really done the Tigers on, is that 3's off the mark. Trinity shooting 3 of 13 from 3, 3 of 7 for UTD. See if they go to that a little bit more in the second half.
Holland picked up her dribble. She'll just turn around and shoot it. Why not? Knock it down. 10 points for Abby Holland. First player into double figures. And the Tigers lead back to 6. Gunther quickly on the other side. She'll knock down her first shot attempt.
Yeah, the defensive intensity isn't quite at the level that it was at the end of that first half when it was turnovers, steals, blocks, a really good defense being played. I'm sure it'll ramp back up as we get into the later stages of this game. Rudd was able to get Pena to fall and get Ackerman the open look. She couldn't knock it down, though.
That was Holland moments ago. Just picked up her dribble. Still had her shot. And they called a foul, kind of bailing the Tigers out as Edler knocks down, or Edler called for the foul, and then Emily Daniel's going to knock down the free throw. She's now got 5 points.
Yeah, I must have missed the foul call there. It looked like it was loose ball while the rebounding was going on, but Tigers get 1 of 2 from the line that time. Pena brings it across. Pena had 10 turnovers last time these two teams met. So far, has had a clean game. Yet to really affect the scoring, though, just 4 points.
Simmons running the floor very well. Fantastic pass from Ackerman.
Yeah, put that one right on a dime.
Kelly Simmons, 8 points, 4 or 5 shooting. Tigers, largest lead now, 7 points. Hughes, get the foul called against Daniel. And they'll say it was in the act of shooting, so Hughes to the line to shoot 2. Daniel up ahead to Ackerman. Just see, like, I don't even know how she saw that pass. A defender in front and a defender behind. She just laid it out ahead.
Yeah, and shout out to the camera crew as well, capturing it beautifully.
It's the old Wayne Gretzky adage, don't pass it to me, pass it to where I'm going, and I'll just go get it. He was knocking, missing both. Tigers, as good as a turnover essentially, and then they just give it right back. Tried to force that essentially into double coverage. Ripped away, and now a jump ball will finally be called.
This game so closely contested. We've seen quite a few of those jump balls as the Tigers fight for it. Pena holding her own, that time with Simmons.
In the first game, UMHB broke away in the third quarter. That's going to be a foul on Abby Holland. Illegal screen.
Yeah, and Rudd doesn't mind it because she airballed the shot, took the attention away from that.
Yeah, I don't think she meant to set an illegal screen. She just ran into the defender who was well out of position. Skinner, she'll pull right in front of Holland. It's her first miss from downtown. Gunther grabs the board. Skinner will try again. And that'll be up off the shot clock, and it'll be out of bounds. Now 2 for 4 for downtown for Kelly Skinner.
Yeah, and the misses continue for both teams from 3. It's really not been a game won or lost on the 3 ball. 3 of 9 now for UTD. Trinity 3 of 14. Similar performance to what they put up in the SCAC championship game when they shot 12% from behind the arc.
Yeah, Trinity has not shot very well last couple of games at home from beyond the arc. Sort of picked the worst time of the year to go cold from downtown, but also the type of team that can reverse that pretty quickly. Both can shoot very well. Jordan Rudd for 3, front iron, no good. Tapped around, and then Daniel picks up the rebound. That's got to be a foul on the interior, and it will be Edler. Call for the foul. She had the arm up in to Emily Daniel. 4:48 left here, third quarter, and that's going to take us to the media timeout. Tigers with a 43-36 lead. We'll take a short break and be right back.
4:48 left in the third as the Tigers holding on to a 7-point advantage against UTD in this first round match of the NCAA tournament. Subs into the game for both sides as Coleman posting up down low for Trinity. Screen comes from Milton. Daniel on the dribble. Ackerman from downtown, and she sends the fans into a frenzy with that one. Double-digit lead now for Trinity. Fans really got into it over the media timeout, particularly members of the baseball team out supporting tonight. They'll be in action on the Tiger Network this week as Pena, the scoop and score on the drive. You can watch those games against New Jersey City on Monday and Tuesday. live.trinity.edu. And Milton going to be the beneficiary of a foul call here. She had a drive slowed down by a couple of Comets. Ackerman got that look open from straightaway center. Made no mistake, and then at the other end, Pena with the answer. So Milton for 2 shots to try and extend the lead back out to double digits for Trinity. We're looking to keep the Comets at arm's length here in the second half. UTD came out slightly hotter with a 2-point advantage after the first quarter. Since then, Trinity's really worked on building that lead, even without Abby Holland on the floor at the moment. Pena brings it forward for UTD, and Ackerman disagrees with the call here. She wants a review. That's straight out of the NBA playbook, the LeBron James finger rotation. Takes a lot more to get a review at the Division III level than it does in the fourth quarter of a Lakers game. They're going to say travel there before the foul. And another turnover for UTD. Those are starting to add up here in the second half. It's number 10 in the game. Trinity have turned that into 7 points so far. Coleman down low. Working against Gunter. Help defense coming from Pena. And a pretty unnecessary foul that time from Warnsman. And it's going to send Daniel to the line as Trinity are in the bonus. Still just about 3.5 minutes to go. And they've been shooting the ball extremely well from the free throw line so far, unlike what we saw this season.
Daniel knocks down the first. Tigers now 9 of 10. So he told me that the trade-off is going to be that they'll shoot a lot better at the free throw line, given their woes at the three-point line. And I think a lot of people might say it might be worth taking.
Yeah, it certainly just changes the way you play. A lot more drives, and the Tigers have taken on that physical aspect of the game so far, getting to the line now 5 times.
Sam Henry checking back in, placing Jordan Rudd.
UTD desperately needing a takeover here from Hughes, who has shown glimpses of it, but hasn't really put a streak together so far. Here she is driving.
Gets blocked by Daniel, but grabs her own board. The foul is probably going to be on Henry from behind.
And that's a good start to the run, especially if she can make the free throw here. It went 0 for 2 earlier in a trip to the line.
Foul is going to be on Daniel, so maybe the behind the goal cam will prove me wrong once again, but I did not see her make the contact. Definitely thought that Sam Henry fouled from behind, though, so either way, Hughes with the three-point play. Well-deserved on the drive and the rebound. Milton working the low block. What a pass. Ashlyn Milton to Haley Coleman.
Yeah, it's been the season of giving out there on the court tonight. Plenty of highlight reel passes already. And there's a highlight reel drive. Excellent movement.
Renee Hughes. Hughes now with 14.
And we won't put that one up next to the other ones we've seen today, as Ackerman with a rare turnover on a misplaced pass. I see a couple of, there's the pass around the corner. Coleman was waiting for it. Milton confident that it was going down.
Gunther pulls, back rim no good, rebound for Milton. Trinity getting the type of game from Milton that they had to have from the first year. They're not playing a super deep roster here in the postseason. So those that do see the court got to put up quality minutes, and Milton 10 points, 4 rebounds, and one of the more impressive assists that you'll see today. Coleman, 6 on the clock, Julia Ackerman. It is all falling well for Trinity. They lead by 12. Timeout on the court. University of Texas at Dallas. We'll talk it over. And the kick out. And nothing but the bottom of the net for Ackerman. NCAA Women's Championship first round. These are the games in the bracket side, the 16 teams that comprise where our games matter. And you can see most of all, these have gone final. 7 have punched their way into the second round so far. Top row tomorrow to be Rowan versus Amherst. Rowan had a huge lead in that game in the first half against Merchant Marine, held on. Amherst, the 70-46 victory. Those games played in front of 0 crowd over at Amherst. George Fox and Marymount matching up tomorrow. That'll be in Virginia. Marymount, the home host there. 20-point winners over Gettysburg. The game that we saw just before us, Mary Hardin Baylor 78-63 over Austin College. And at the half, Trinity with a 5-point lead. They have since pushed that to 12. Christopher Newport, and then the only upset so far seeding-wise, Endicott knocking off the host Scranton. So Pennsylvania will not have their home team advance into the second round. And of course, tomorrow we will take 4 more winners from that, and they will all meet up in a round of 8, or a round of 16, and then a round of 8 matchup next week. My best guess is that now with Pennsylvania being off the board, almost could be anywhere, especially if George Fox were to win. George Fox, opportunity to disrupt the whole region, could be back in Texas somewhere. Drive to the lane results in a foul.
Yeah, and it was really tough defense played by Henry, and eventually she just got caught too close and might have turned the ankle. There was the tangle up.
Take one look at it. From here, she's up gingerly walking.
Yeah, just turns the ankle inside. Not a pretty one.
Walking on her own, so that's a good sign. Hobbling, but able to put pressure down. The ever well-dressed Cameron Hill.
Yeah, and it's a slight concern for Trinity. They were about to run the set with with Sam Henry and Jordan Rudd on the floor. Jordan Rudd shooting 1 of 8 from the floor in this game, and now her backup potentially out for the rest of this one.
Pena there at the line. She's able to knock down the first, so Pena now 7 points. Her first free throw good. 3 of 9 shooting today, 0 of 3 from downtown. San Antonio native. Northwest side of town.
And those are the plays that you can't give up when you're trying to keep a team at arm's length like Trinity is.
Turns it into a 3-point play as Gunther sneaks in and knocks down the shot. Maxwell takes a hard screen. Set by Coleman. And Coleman finds Milton. Turnaround jumper. Can't get it to fall. Rebound for Pena. And this is where Trinity probably needs to focus. Last 45 seconds of the quarter, you don't want to give up quite a few points. They almost gave up another three-point play opportunity. Pena will earn another trip back to the line. She has 7, 1 of 2 on the last trip. But it did result Gunther sneaking in, getting the rebound, making a three-point play. So they can take the 12-point lead, make it a 7 if she's not able to knock down both of these.
Yeah, and the Tigers have to stay focused here. Like you said, last minute of the quarter. It's going to be really important. Both teams in the bonus, playing hard defense, but Trinity looking to keep this lead where it's at, now 8.
And Pena converts both, 7-point lead. Last 5 in a row here by UT Dallas. Not a 2-for-1 situation, as Trinity will slow it down just a touch. Coleman cross court to Abby Holland, and that's going to be another turnover. And going back to that game earlier this year, Trinity losing that game by 4 points. One of those issues was they had trouble closing out periods, and they had a little trouble starting a few of them.
And it was a theme in the early season. They struggled late on in games, and they were able to improve on that as the season went on.
Inside. McKahey knocking it down. Jordan Rudd at the buzzer is going to come up short. And a fantastic run here by the Comets is going to give us the fourth quarter that we're looking for. The lead stays 5. Trinity once up by 12. It's a 7-0 run by the Comets. We're going to go to the fourth quarter. We'll be back in just a bit. Here live from CalGuard Gymnasium in San Antonio. Winner advances to the second round tomorrow. We're back.
Five-point game here as we start the fourth period of play of this NCAA first-round matchup. Number 21 UTD trailing number 12 Trinity. Season's on the line here. And 10 minutes on the clock. Excellent pass into the lane and a comfortable finish that time for Gunther. 4 straight points for her. And now it's a 9-0 run for UTD. All the momentum is in their corner at the moment. Tigers had gone on a 10-2 run to extend the lead out to 12 for Coach Thomason for UTD. Took the timeout, and they answered now with a 9-0 run, ended by Holland's basket there on the baseline.
Yeah, Trinity definitely needing that. UTD finding themselves right back into the thick of things. Pena will pull for 3. Front rim, no good. Rebound for Simmons. For Simmons, her 7th board. Tying Skinner for the game high. The mood from the media timeout to the end of the quarter timeout went from exuberant to tense here in CalGuard Gymnasium. for UT Dallas fans. I believe that's going to be a shot clock violation. Yep.
Yeah, that was a great
Simmons,
step back move from Ackerman.
Simmons recognized it. It was going to be the Holland turnaround jumper that stopped the 9-0 run. Simmons recognized the shot clock was falling down, but unable to get it off the rim.
Yeah, and Ackerman usually a catch and shoot shooter. That time trying to come off the dribble, I think just lost focus and didn't even draw iron with the long two.
Inside, okay, 3-point game once again. Okay, he's got 6.
And it hasn't been the 2 guards that we expected leading the charge here in this run. It's been a lot of easy layups underneath. The likes of Pena and Hughes getting the assists on some easy looks.
Solid defense there, forcing Simmons into a shot she didn't want. A chance to tie with a 3. Gunther kept the foot, didn't travel. Now Hughes working inside. Gunther pulls for 3. Front rim no good. And Rudd will fend off Pena and take the rebound.
Rudd probably going to have to play the rest of the way. Saw Sam Henry is taking the shoe off and has the ice wrapped around the foot. Looks like she's going to be out for the rest of this one.
And Holland will get the foul call. That's going against O'Keefe. There's O'Keefe's layup. That cut the lead to 3. But her foul might give Trinity an extension here.
And Abby Holland only 10 shots in this game, tied with Pena for the game high. But usually at this point in the game, she's taking 15 or more, shooting 50%, and 2 for 2 so far from the free throw line. Hasn't been a trademark performance from her, but she's been efficient.
You can see Pena's frustration on that one. And 2 for Abby Holland. She's got 14. Ackerman's got 11 for the Tigers and Milton 10. I think a big part of Holland's low production here stats-wise is just the rest of the Tigers contributing very efficiently as well. Foul on Trinity. Be on Jordan Rudd, her second. Also, Jordan Rudd only 2 fouls and we're in the 4th quarter is not typical as well.
Yeah, more fouls than made shots, though, is not something that she would like to see on the stat line. She gets the steal there, though, coming up big on the defensive end. And Holland catches the ball that was O'Keefe trying to keep it in. Tigers slow it down.
Tigers feel like they've let the rhythm of the game kind of fall down a little bit. It's going to be an offensive foul on Simmons. And Simmons arguing that she was well inside the inner circle. Let's take a look at that one and see where. And she just stepped outside. I don't know if we got the other angle on that one as well from behind the basket. I think she had just stepped out of it.
Onto the tiptoes.
That is how you are the defensive player of the year. My goodness. Cahy doesn't get it to fall, but she draws the foul. She's going to the line.
And now back-to-back defensive player of the years in the ASC for Hughes. She's only a junior as well, so I have to say the heavy favorite to three-peat that award next season. Pena, on the contrary, is the senior, looking to make a final run in Comets colors. She's twice been the ASC East Player of the Year. I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, leads all Comets ever in the women's basketball side of things in points and rebounds, and with a couple of victories in this NCAA tournament, she could get the 10 assists that she needs to lead all three of the major categories. As Hughes, I think they're going to say that she went up and over.
Yeah, there's going to be a foul in GTD, and down onto the floor in some severe pain is going to be Simmons.
Took one to the face, I think.
And the way she's moving, they might need to check her for concussion symptom. Almost falling over there.
That'd be the second Tiger to go down injured. Yeah, she's struggling here.
We're going to take a quick break, allow them to attend to Simmons, and we'll catch you back up here in just a moment. And Kelly Simmons able to walk off with assistance. And it's going to be a big blow for the Tigers. He had 8 points, 8 rebounds, but with the blow to the head, as we fear, if she does go into the protocol, if Tigers do advance, she'll be unavailable for tomorrow. And they are looking back at that last play there. I don't know if we had a good angle on it or not to see what had happened. Officials are talking about it now. Just incidental contact from Skinner. She was trying to deflect it out, as you do on shots like that, and missed the ball and got most of Simmons' face. I think the officials are going to have to confer to see what the call is. I mean, we saw it earlier with Abby Holland on Paris Brinkley, and that was one that they just missed within the context of the game. And it wasn't reviewed, but the two fouls are going to be different. They're going to bring the coaches over here.
The only frustrating part about this for me is they had the entire injury timeout to discuss this and then wait till everyone gets back out and then.
Yeah, and I think that's just the protocol of the rules, because they have to allow for the injury timeout. You know, and it would be nice to be able to take care of two things at once. And they were at least looking at the replay during that point. But Holly Thomason not happy with whatever has been decided here. And I think you can agree that the play was definitely accidental. If they deem it a flagrant, I can't imagine that they would deem it any type of major flagrant that would require ejection for any reason. But if they do, then that would be highly frustrating. They're making the call now, and we'll get it from James Hill, the PA, here in just a moment. It's definitely a flagrant, as Abby Holland's going to the line.
Yeah, and in the context of this game, those are 2 big points that Trinity has been gifted there from the officials. Holland converting both.
Yeah, they're saying the intentional foul. It goes down into the stats as a flagrant foul, or a technical foul, but it's a flagrant 2, which is, I believe, a technical now. So, like I said, just really unfortunate. I mean, on a play like that, your job is to poke that back out to your defenders or to your offensive teammates usually around the arc. But on the other side of it, Trinity's going to be without Simmons for the rest of this one and likely tomorrow. And if they're able to advance any further than that, then who knows how much longer. A shot by Holland on the interior. 7-point lead for the Tigers. So we approach 5:38, 37, somewhere around there now. Next dead ball under 5 will be a media timeout. Now this is Skinner. Pulls the trigger, knocks it down. Kelly Skinner, 10 points. 3 of 6 shooting, 2 of 4 of downtown, 2 of 2 at the line. She also has 8 rebounds. And Hughes again, another steal and an easy basket. 16 points, 6 of 10 shooting.
Yeah, and she saw that pass before the decision was even made to make the pass. Turn that into offense so quickly as well.
Milton's going to get fouled here at 5:01.
Here's the steal.
Yeah, she was already anticipating the pass would be there. If nothing else, just amazing defensive awareness to know that that's where a passing lane is going to be. Let me jump in it just to deny the pass, and then Trinity decided to make it anyway.
Yeah, and she hasn't missed either with jumping passing lanes. Sometimes you'll be a little bit over-aggressive and then the player will cut to the basket and you're left exposed. That hasn't happened. She picks and chooses those moments perfectly.
The range wasn't an issue for Ackerman. I think she was just a little hesitant to pull with the shot clock running down. Hesitation dribble, another amazing pass. Pena.
Both sides have brought it in terms of the assists today.
Katie Gunther knocking down the shot, but what a pass by Victoria Pena. We've seen some of the best passes here today. Miss for the Tigers, coming back the other way. Chance to take the lead. Hughes can't get it to fall. Loose ball taken by Ackerman. Again, next dead ball results in the media timeout. Ackerman up ahead for Holland. Into Coleman. She's got the layup, 3-point lead for the Tigers.
And they needed that one, 0 for 5 before that. And Coach Hill, I think, is going to take a timeout here as the lead's at 3. It's been at 12 way back in the third, but this one is hanging in the balance here in San Antonio. As you can see, that highlight reel pass from Pena. We'll be right back.
.348, 63-60 Trinity. Winner plays tomorrow. Loser starts preparing for 2020-2021.
Yeah, this game has had it all. Tremendous defense, some tremendous passes, really it all except for the three-point shooting, I guess, if we're looking at it that way. But these two teams going toe-to-toe.
The block by Jordan Rudd, but Hughes, as always, in the right spot at the right time. Picks it up, knocks it in. She has 18 on 7 of 12 shooting. She's got the game high, taking it away from Abby Holland. They have been tied at 16.
The last lead for UTD was way back in the first quarter, the end of the first quarter. They led by 2. Threatening that at the moment as Daniel's shot rolls off the rim.
And they're going to say Trinity ball. Get a look at the block by Rudd, and then just Hughes just absolutely perfect in placement everywhere she's been today.
Yeah, such a tough matchup for Rudd on both ends.
Inside for Holland. Kick out. Ackerman fires the 3. Short. Rebound cut off by Pena.
Tigers needed that one.
1-point game. Keeping it alive. Gunther inside. Picks up her dribble. Shot clock reset. Up to 16 now. 15. Baseline's open. Blocked by Milton.
And Pena has to be careful. She's been yelling at the officials on the last couple of drives that she made. Already seen one technical to her teammate as Holland gets fouled. And I think I and every Trinity fan was holding her breath for a second there. It was an awkward fall for Holland. She's up and ready to take the 2 free throws.
Yeah, went down early in the last home game of the year against Schreiner. A two-handed block by Milton on that one. More of a volleyball block. And Holland shot that one really awkwardly. She's kind of standing with a lot of pressure on one side. I don't know if she's feeling any effect from the fall. That one looked more like her normal shot, and it's a 2-point lead.
Of course, Holland, the senior, she is certainly favoring one leg at the moment, but going to put it all out there and stay in if she can in what could be her last games. You see the crowd really getting into it, and the camera's shaky. You don't get that every day in CalGuard Gymnasium.
Pena now for Hughes. Fights through the screen. Milton can't keep up, but the shot missed, and it's going to stay here. Last touch by Trinity. 20 on the shot clock, 1:57 to play.
The way that Rainette Hughes is able to move with the basketball so smooth that you're just surprised when it doesn't go in.
Comets trail by 2. Gunther steps inside, gets the roll. We're tied. Minute 45 to play.
I don't want this game to end, Josh. Give me more.
There's definitely the feel of overtime in the air right now. Simmons all over Milton, far side. Now Milton takes the step, side of the backboard though. It won't fall. Skinner with the board. 9th for Skinner. She takes over the tie for game high that Simmons had held. For Simmons leaving a few minutes ago. Will not return. Rudd has to fight through the screen. Pena the and one. And I'm not sure how that fell. What a fantastic shot for Victoria Pena.
Yeah, and she's been asking for the fouls on her last couple of drives. She got it at that time, and she fought through the contact and got the points anyway.
Rudd wanted the push off on the arm extension, but not going to get the call. Pena can make it a 3-point game with 1:02 to play.
And that's the first lead for the Comets since the end of the first quarter.
And the turnaround for UTD. It really started late third quarter. Tigers had a 12-point lead. It was cut by 7 in the final minute and a half. Ackerman to tie. Front of the rim, no good. Tapped out. Pena grabs the board. Tigers are going to need to play excellent defense on this possession. Skinner. Back to Pena. Poked away by Rudd. 2 players fall down. The official basically says, get back up. Now Hughes drives in, gets the foul. And she'll be shooting 2 at the line. Shot clock will be off the rest of the way. If she makes both of these, this has a very eerie feeling to how UT Dallas escaped out of here with a win earlier this year, fighting back, closing it out strong.
Yeah, it's just, it feels weird to be at this point in the game with UTD ahead after the way that Trinity was able to hold the lead throughout pretty much the majority of the game. Second and third quarter in control. And it's just slipped through the fingers here in the fourth.
Both teams have taken 58 shots. UTD's made 26, Trinity just 22. First shot for Hughes makes it a 4-point lead.
Huge make that time from Hughes, who's certainly had it tonight. This would be for a 20-point game.
And a 5-point lead. A 10-point turnaround here in the fourth quarter for the Comets. 27.6 to play. We'll take a timeout and be right back. We're live from Trinity University, watching the NCAA Division III Women's Basketball National Championship first round.
UTD are a team that have constantly fought back from difficult situations this season. They started the year 1-3 after they lost to Wheaton, Chicago, Austin College, all good teams, but nonetheless put themselves in a hole to start the season, and they've been fighting back from that ever since. They had an 8-game win streak after that, including the win at Trinity. And they're looking to continue the hot streak here and move into the second round, move to 23-5. Tigers need a shot, and quickly here, as they lose tenths of a second.
Tigers, no field goals the last 3 minutes, 23 seconds, and they're 1 for the last 10 here in the fourth quarter. Officials are going to talk about something. I don't know what it is. They're going to the replay, so we'll be back in just a second. It might be about the clock. Well, we think they were just trying to confirm the clock situation. We got 27.3. A few tenths went off on the deflection. Ackerman needs to get it in and does. Milton. Back to Ackerman. Lost her footing for a second. Now pulls short for 3. Rebound for Pena. 20 seconds left, and that looks like it might be the end of the Tigers. Pena can knock down at least one of these. Forces Trinity to hit 2 threes. Just a tie.
And it's a microcosm of the way the season's gone in terms of going cold at the end. Tigers not able to capture the SCAC championship, and now potentially bowing out in the first round. Similarly in this game, they haven't made a field goal in the last 3.5 minutes. And when it's come down to it at the end of seasons, or end of games, Trinity just can't close it out at the moment as Sam Henry comes back into the game. Good to see her back in after the earlier injury.
Pena missing the first. Giving hope for the Tigers. We're only going to graduate 2 seniors this year, Anna Mueller and Abby Holland. Second one's made, so 6-point lead, 20.4 to play.
And the way that the Tigers have been shooting the ball from 3, not only in this game, 5 of 21, but the performance in the SCAC final when they shot 4 of 31. They're looking around in the huddle and saying, who's going to be able to knock this one down? We saw Ackerman make 1 in this fourth quarter from straight away. You're not going to get that open of a look here as both coaches have an opportunity to set up their teams for the dead ball situation. You need 3, and it's got to be quick.
Sam Henry replacing Jordan Rudd. And Ackerman will inbound once again. Milton was wide open for a second. Now she gets open again. She's going to pull from about 25 feet. Knocks it down. 70-67. And a timeout by UTD. 17.9 to play.
It's time to stand up. No more sitting down the rest of the way. She shot that one from well beyond even the NBA range marked on the court.
And we've talked about all year with Trinity losing Abby Holland to graduation this year. Who are they going to look to kind of fill that void as both an inside presence but an outside shooter as well? And Ashley Milton as a first year. Don't want to put a lot of pressure under her shoulders just yet, but looks like she could be the type of player that can help lessen that hurt of Abby Holland graduating.
Yeah, and the confidence here to take that shot as a first year playing in your first ever NCAA tournament game. In a moment where your team absolutely has to have it. Hands up.
So with the timeout, UTD able to bring the ball up to their side of the court. So they'll inbound from here. Trinity needs a turnover, if not a quick foul. And they'll get the quick foul. It'll be Gunther to go to the line. Her first trip today. She's 5 of 9 from the field. One of those being a three-pointer. And she'll be at the line to shoot 2. And essentially, if Trinity can somehow find their three-point shot, they have a chance, even if shots are made here by UTD at the free throw line. And Sam Henry looks like she might be bleeding.
The weird injury incidents continue.
Yep. Yeah, nosebleed for Sam Henry, so.
Jordan Rudd must be dealing with some type of injury as well. She's not coming back into this one.
Emily Nelson will check in.
Looks like if the Tigers can somehow pull this one out, they're going to be dealing with a beaten up roster tomorrow against UMHB, who awaits whoever can come out on top after these final 17 seconds.
Gunther's first shot falls through. It's hard to say that there are any upsets here. I'd say that this one could be labeled as an upset because you're playing on the other team's home court. And with that said, there were 4 ranked teams into this tournament. We knew 2 were going home today, and 1 more is going home tomorrow. And 1 is going to escape and make their way into the round of 16. Both free throws good and very clutch coming from Gunther there. Katie Gunther now with 12 points. And for Trinity, they've got to get a quick 3, and they're going to have to get a turnover. I don't know how much more time they have where they can continue to play the we'll take a 3, knock it down, and then give you free throws again.
Yeah, and they've been known to grab the inbounds pass every once in a while, and that's conference play. This is a whole different animal with UTD. Certainly dialed in as much as possible, trying to take care of the ball.
A fantastic fourth quarter here from the Comets. It all started at the end of the third quarter. We've talked about it, I think pretty much all year. Trinity just having lapses, final few moments of each quarter, not each quarter, but at certain times to end the quarter. And we've seen them lose games because of those types of lapses, and seemingly barring a fantastic comeback here with 17 seconds left, could be in line to do that once more. Get it into Holland. He's going to have it stolen away by Hughes, and I think it's almost perfectly fitting that a steal by Hughes will wrap this one up. Because 4th steal of the game for Hughes.
Yeah, I mentioned it a couple of times. Set the program record for steals in a season with those 4 today. Just so tenacious defensively. You can't even have a lapse of concentration for a half second. She's going to take the ball from you and go score. As she does that time, the College Station native puts the first free throw through, and it's a 6-point advantage for the Comets.
Renette Hughes, 21 points, 7 of 13 and 7 of 10. Now 8 of 11, 22 points. And a 7-point lead. Nelson will bring it forward. Milton for three once again off the glass, no good. Holland grabs the board, knocks in what is probably her last shot as a Trinity Tiger. And that will do it. Advancing on to tomorrow, the University of Texas Dallas Comets. They'll take on Mary Hardin Baylor in an ASC rematch. Those two teams very familiar with themselves. They'll be looking for a chance to go to the round of 16 for the Tigers. Their season ends 24-5 on the year. And a couple of stats here for the Tigers. Abby Holland, 19 points, 6 of 13 shooting, 6 rebounds. Julia Ackerman, 11 points. Ashlyn Milton, 13 points on 4 of 12 shooting. Emily Daniels, 7 points. And Simmons, 8 points and 8 rebounds. Looking at it for the Comets, really, Raynette Hughes, 22 points, 4 rebounds, 4 steals, 3 assists, and just seemed to be everywhere she needed to be today. 13 points for Victoria Pena, 10 for Kelly Skinner, 12 points for Katie Gunther, and the Comets will play tomorrow. That game starting at 7 o'clock here in San Antonio. We will have it for you here on the Tiger Network. And UT Dallas joining Rowan, Amherst, George Fox, Marymount, Mary Hardin Baylor, Christopher Newport, and Endicott, all moving on to the second round. For the student crew, thank you, as they did a great job both in the control room and on camera. We appreciate their efforts bringing you this game. Ryan, thank you for all of your work, not only today but throughout the season. Any last thoughts here for Trinity?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a disappointing way for it to come to an end. They gave us some really good moments this season, a tremendous regular season record and some big wins, especially early on before Christmas, and they're going to be disappointed with how this one ended, but you have to keep in mind and keep it in perspective in terms of how strong this regional pod was. We mentioned it a couple of times, 4 ranked teams. That's pretty much unheard of, especially in the Division III women's basketball where everything is so spread out. We got everything concentrated here in San Antonio, and it was a terrific night of action both in the first and second game, and it sets up a great matchup tomorrow in the ASC rematch. UTD took the game earlier on in the season against UMHB, but the crew were able to come out with the ASC championship, and obviously they're going to want retribution on the Comets side for that. So definitely tune in for that one. It'll be a premier matchup in the round of 32. But thank you to all the viewers tuning in all season for Trinity Women's Basketball, and we hope you have a good night. Thank you.